Even more characters have been confirmed for Mortal Kombat 1. There is so much DLC in the future. About 2 days ago, we covered the returning Mortal Kombat characters that will be DLC, likely in the upcoming Story Mode Part 2, otherwise known as Mortal Kombat 1 Aftermath by the fans. But in today's video, we're gonna talk about the guest characters. And there's 3 of them, that's right, 3 more guest characters are coming to Mortal Kombat 1, and the choices are really interesting. However, first, you're gonna wanna log on to Mortal Kombat 1 today, because NetherRealm left us some free gifts. That's right, you just get 2 free Melina palettes for no real reason. I guess NetherRealm just felt like sharing the love because these color palettes are pink and they're for Melina, but also there's been some glitches and bugs lately, right? So maybe NetherRealm is just apologizing for that and giving us some free skins. But that's not all that's happening in Mortal Kombat 1 this weekend. Turns out it's double XP weekend. That's right, and it's a bigger deal than you might think because every character you get to level 20 gives you free dragon crystals. And after that, if you reach level 31 with any character, you also get more free dragon crystals, which means in the near future, you could get any DLC costumes for free. That's right, like I said, double XP weekend is a bigger deal than you might think, and I'm not sure if it'll happen in the future, so make sure to get your hours in this weekend if you can. For the record, I'm recording this on a Friday, but it lasts all the way until Sunday, so spend all the hours that you can on Mortal Kombat 1, especially if you're someone who already plays the game anyway. There's never been a better time to grind this game. However, real quick, a word of warning, the DLC characters do not give you any dragon crystals when you reach level 20. I'm not sure why, but they just don't. You can still grind for the color palettes and the skins, but you won't be getting the dragon crystals, which means you won't get free DLC in the future, so just keep that in mind. But alright everyone, you've waited long enough. Thank you for being so patient. I just wanted to cover those 2 topics first because they are time sensitive, but now it's time to talk about the upcoming guest characters in Mortal Kombat 1. As mentioned earlier at the very start of this video, there's 3 more guest characters coming to Mortal Kombat 1, which is crazy because we already have 3 guest characters in the game, so that's gonna give us 6 guest characters in total. That's pretty crazy. Most people watching this video know that I'm not a big fan of guest characters. I don't mind them, I'll take them, I'll happily accept the guest characters, especially if they're from shows or movies that I like, but for the most part, I prefer returning Mortal Kombat characters or even brand new Mortal Kombat characters that fit in the lore. But even so, the reality is guest characters sell copies, right? So what are the 3 guest characters? Let's go down the list. One of them has been covered multiple times in past videos because he's been rumored for a very long time. His name is Ghostface and he's confirmed by Interloco. Like mentioned in my past video about 2 days ago, Interloco has confirmed that pretty much every leak all the way back in September is legitimate. All the way back then, some people were skeptical that maybe these were red herrings. Maybe NetherRealm put fake names in the code to throw everybody off and make sure that even if you did data mine the game, you would be given incorrect information, and therefore these upcoming characters would still be a mystery. And that was honestly a pretty smart assumption from the community because that's what most other developers do, including fighting game developers. They typically do put fake names in there, or they just encrypt the names to be a bunch of numbers, but for whatever reason in Mortal Kombat 1, they've kind of given up on being tricky like this, and they just straight up put the names of the DLC characters in the game. And as a result, we know that Ghostface is going to be in the game, and finally, he's been confirmed by Interloco. And at first, I was skeptical about this character. You know, I wasn't sure if I wanted him in the game because at the end of the day, Ghostface really is just a dude with a knife. You could argue that Jason is a dude with a knife, but he's also undead and can do supernatural things. And I think Michael Myers is also supernatural in later movies, and even in his debut film, I think he still has adrenaline strength, otherwise known as psychopath energy, right? The guy's really strong because he's crazy, so he's got that going for him, but Ghostface is quite literally one of your neighbors with a knife. That's the entire point of the movies, and sometimes there's actually more than one Ghostface, so that's kind of cool. It could be a gimmick in gameplay, that maybe there's more than one of him. That could be interesting. And like mentioned before in past videos, Ghostface might be a lady in this game, which could be interesting, but like the 4th Snake pointed out, how would we know? Because even if Ghostface is a lady, the killer always uses the same voice modifier, and as a result, you can't tell their sex anyway, which is smart. You can't tell their voice or their sex, whatever, because they all sound the same thanks to the modifier in the mask. So even if Ghostface was a lady in Mortal Kombat 1, if NetherRealm sticks to the lore and is accurate to the films, we still would have no way of knowing. But as you all know, I love making these videos interactive, so let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. How do you feel about about Ghostface as a guest character in Mortal Kombat 1, because now it's confirmed. Some people did not believe me in past videos, but now you can't deny it any longer. This character is coming to the game. It's 100% confirmed. Do you love it? Do you hate it? And let me know your reasons why. Because, like I say in all my videos, I truly do read each and every comment, so grab that keyboard and make your voices heard. Because next up, it's time for guest character number 2, who hails from the Terminator series, but first appeared in the second movie, which I think at the time was called Judgment Day 2, but they all got renamed to Terminator. I think that's how that worked. Anyway, most of you movie lovers already know who I'm talking about, especially if you were born in the 90s like I was. It's the T-1000, otherwise known as Skynet's upgraded version of the T-800, who was meant to kill Arnold Schwarzenegger in the second movie and of course kill John Connors shortly after that, because the main goal is to always kill John Connors. But to beat the T-800, they had to build a better model, otherwise known as the T-1000, and what makes this guy so crazy, especially in a fighting game, is that he can shapeshift. He's pretty much living Mercury. This man can become any person, similar to Shang Tsung, only he's way faster at it, and does not need to steal your soul. He just needs to look at you, and he can transform into you. But then on top of that, he can turn his hands into weapons like gigantic swords or knives or spears. You get the idea. Theoretically, he can maybe turn his hand into a gun, but I don't think he's ever done that. I think instead he just picks up guns, very similar to what the other Terminators do. If there's a weapon, he'll pick it up and use it, but he's also a living weapon, which is awesome. Really, really freaking cool. I think the T-1000 is the character I'm most excited because I love gameplay most at the end of the day. Don't get me wrong, if a character looks cool, I love that as well, but if their gameplay is incredible, that's what I'm here for at the end of the day. That's why I was a Jackie main in Mortal Kombat 11. Nobody loved Jackie for her personality or her character design, it was the gameplay, baby. So if the T-1000 has really cool gameplay and it's really creative, then I'm here for it. And honestly, how could he not be the coolest character in the game when he can literally shapeshift into basically anybody? Think about what NetherRealm could do with that. My mind is going crazy, racing about all the possibilities. You could have so much fun designing the T-1000 for a fighting game, so I'm all here for it. But once again, it's time to hear from you all, the viewers, in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about the T-1000. Are you excited to play as this character in the game, or are you worried to fight against him? Because let's be real, he's likely going to be very annoying as an opponent. He can shapeshift into pretty much anything. He uses guns and weapons in the movie. That's going to be frustrating for you to deal with if you're fighting him. So once again, get loud in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I read every single comment. There's going to be so many. I think my last DLC video has 600 comments already, and probably even more by the time this video is up. So make your voices heard. I love it. Put all the comments down there, because now finally it's time for the third guest character who will be in Mortal Kombat 1 at some point. And this character in particular reminds me of Rambo and RoboCop, because somebody at NetherRealm just loves those early action hero films. And I think that's what happened with this character as well, Conan the Barbarian. That's right, we're talking Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm guessing. For a while, some people thought this was code for Kotal Khan and that NetherRealm was trying to throw us off, but that appears not to be the case, because once again, Interloco has confirmed all of this, which means we are actually getting Conan the Barbarian in Mortal Kombat. And you know what? I think he fits better than maybe the T-1000, because he's going to be using regular weapons like giant swords, maybe a bow and arrow, some tiny daggers here and there, possibly a spear. You get the idea. Regular weapons that you would see at a Mortal Kombat tournament, as opposed to guns or just shapeshifting your entire body into weapons on a whim. Even though I'm not super excited for Conan, in fact, he may be the least interesting character of the three, but even I have to admit that he fits into Mortal Kombat really well. I think he fits better than Ghostface in the T-1000, so I'm gonna let him in. Keep in mind though, it might not be Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm just guessing that because he's the 90s or 80s version of the character, so that's who I expect to be in the game. But it could be a more recent depiction of Conan the Barbarian, or it could be straight out of the comics, kind of like Hellboy. That was not Ron Perlman in Injustice 2. Instead, it was the comic book version of Hellboy. So maybe we'll get Conan from a different medium, like the books, comic books. You get the idea. I honestly have no idea. Let me know your thoughts, theories, and opinions on Conan in the comments down below. This character, like mentioned earlier, I have the least interest in, but even I must admit he's a great fit for the game, and I am still excited to play him. If I was a gambling man, I'd wager that Conan is gonna play like Tusk in Killer Instinct, because I think Tusk was based on Conan. Great fighting game, by the way. I love Killer Instinct, When is Killer Instinct 2 getting here? When is Marvel 4 getting here? And when are these guest DLC characters getting here? I'm hoping when the Aftermath story DLC gets here. We're gonna get 3 main fighters and 3 guest characters and then some cameo characters too, possibly. That's what I'm hoping happens, but I actually don't know yet when they're getting here. I don't think it's gonna be Kombat Pack 2. Instead, I do think they're gonna get here with the story pack instead. Another day means more Mortal Kombat 1 news. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below. It helps the channel out a ton. And then finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell. That way you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.